Well, hello. Um, can you wonderful humans hear me okay? Can you hear me all right? Um, let me know if you can hear me, and also if you can hear some of the audio. Maybe you can't hear that yet.
And hate and blame.
Can you guys hear the audio and me and everything like that? And then I'll get started. Hello to Mike. Hello to Makes. Hello to Obsidian Vader. Great, you can all hear me. That's great. Hello to Will Perring, Kerry as well, Ian, Phobos, all the gang. Thank you so much, guys, for joining today. Very, very excited for our next feedback live stream. I'm just going to do a quick advert for my next masterclass, which I know that a bunch of you in the chat have already signed up for. We've got 5 slots left. 5 slots have already been booked, and this next one is on the 4th of May. And in this masterclass, I'll be teaching hooks and vibes. We'll be building a cohesive DNB with zero musical theory but maximum feeling. And we're going to learn about writing riffs, melodies, and motifs by ear, sound design for hooks and leads, developing a track around a central idea, creating variation while staying cohesive, and there'll be some samples, presets, and lesson slides included with the class. And it's only €35 for the masterclass, and there's 10 people maximum. 5 of those already booked out, and there's a Q&A at the end as well. I haven't actually put the link publicly yet. It's only on Patreon right now, but it will go public in the next few days as well. But that's on the 4th of May, Sunday, 9 p.m. CET, 8 p.m. UK time, Sunday the 4th of May. Do I need a webcam? Can you guys actually see me though, right? Yeah, surely, right? Oh, I'm such an idiot for the class. No, you don't need a webcam. You don't. The most of the class will be me doing a presentation, and there'll be Q&A at the end. If you haven't got a webcam, it's no problem. If you've got one, then it's lovely for me to see your face, but it's not a requirement. But anyway, that's my little plug for today. My masterclass upcoming soon. If you need any more info, just write me or check out on Patreon. I put more information on there. Anyway, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you to all of our wonderful Patreon members, and especially to these beautiful 8, or even I should say 9, gentle fish who have submitted tracks to make this feedback stream happen. Without you guys putting yourself out there, making tunes and submitting it to me, none of this would happen either. So very, very appreciative of you guys. And we've got 8 tracks to get through today, which is a great number. I think it's a nice rounded number. Not too many, not too little. And I've done it in reverse alphabetical order today by the artists. So we've got Will and Chris first. I think they need to come up with a real producer name soon. Then we've got Tendo, also from the UK. We've got Splinters from the UK. Then we've got Phobos, originally from the UK, now in Austria, I believe. I sometimes get that mixed up the wrong way round. Or is he from Austria and now in the UK? I can't remember. We've got Makes as well from UK, Ride from UK, Ian from UK, and Asylum from the UK. So it's a very UK heavy stream. But if there's one thing the UK can do well, it's make music. So let's crack straight on then, shall we? Let's get this ball rolling. Will and Chris, Rise as One. What comes next?
But I know the history intimately. The root that tears apart your house's foundation begins as a seed. A seed of distrust and hate and blame. I'm watching with a foreboding dread what is happening in our country right now. It took the Nazis 1 month, 3 weeks, 2 days, 8 hours, and 40 minutes to dismantle a constitutional republic. What comes next? Once we've ostracized our neighbors and betrayed our friends, when the problems we started with are still there staring us in the face, the authoritarian playbook is laid bare here. I just have one question. What comes next? And if we don't want to repeat history, we better be strong enough to learn from it. What comes next? Tyranny requires your fear, your silence, and your compliance. Democracy requires your courage. Gather your justice and humanity. Do not let the tragic spirit of despair overcome us when our country needs us the most.
Well, there you have it. That was Rise as One. What Comes Next by Will and Chris, and that was very, very epic, wasn't it? A great epic sound. Really, really, really exciting. Let's read the comments. Asylum says the weather here is awful. It's a bit awful in Germany today too. Beautiful vocal work, says Phobos. Never seems to get those right. Yeah, nice work on the vocals. Mike Briggs says I like the guitar. Like the intro reminds me of Choices by Nero, says Asylum. Very much so, says Samuel Music. Nice groove from Mike. Oi oi, says Ride. And Phobos, this is so old school and vibey. I love the style. Yeah, man. Sorry, guys, I should say. Really, really enjoyed that. You had a great narrative throughout the whole song as well. It had a really great feeling. I was just wanting the drums to be a little bit better still. Personally, for me, I feel like the drum group could have a little bit of improvement from the kick and snare and also the other parts, you know. But if the drums were just like even bigger and like a bit like cutting through even more, like in the low end, it just would have been perfect for me, you know. But very, very good though. Probably my favorite one that you guys have submitted. I quite liked the sort of Middle Eastern stuff you did last time. That was cool as well. But yeah, it's up there with that for me. But yeah, I won't ramble on for too much longer. But great work, guys. Great work. Let's move on to Tendo. All I Wanted. Excited to see how this one sounds. Let's go. Oh, there we are.
I just wanna breathe you in, feel you deep in my heart, be with you every day. You're all I wanted. Oh, I'm so into you. I'll make it all for you. I really wanna be with you. Ooh, I just wanna breathe you in, feel you deep in my heart, be with you every day. You're all I wanted. Oh, I'm so into you. I'll make it all for you. I really wanna be with you. Can you set me free? I just wanna breathe you in, feel you deep in my heart, be with you every day. You're all I wanted. I just wanna breathe you in, feel you deep in my heart, be with you every day. You're all I
It was a work in progress indeed, but it's sounding sick so far, my G. I just realised as well, I have a similar piece of feedback to give you that I did to Will and Chris, but I didn't really explain it well enough to Will and Chris, so I need to sort of reword what I said before. I'm using my DJ headphones for the stream because there's less like headphone bleed going out into the microphone, and yeah, I just remembered that the signature is a bit different to my normal headphones, you know, but I still can tell exactly what I would improve on this one and Will and Chris's, and it's there's kicks and snares like both need a little bit more depth. It's almost like they're a bit smacky. they're like tiny bit dry, and like there needs to be a little more detail in the dimension and depth of both the kick and snare on this track and also on the previous one from Will and Chris, in my opinion, my humble opinion. Okay, let me just go back a second. Yeah, just going back so I can give some more useful advice. For the first one for Will and Chris, I think the kick it almost needs to be. I don't know if it needs to be replaced, but the full like low end weight of the kick doesn't come through, and the snare is okay, but it could use some extra detail and layering in the background, particularly to give it extra depth. But that was what I was kind of listening into the first time, but I failed to sort of mention that on the first time. Anyway, let's go back to Tendo. This was excellent, by the way. Everything, like I loved all of it. Yeah, it's only the kick and snare for me. They're really, really close to being perfect, to be fair. I just feel like there could be a touch more depth to both of them, and maybe they, I don't know, they would have a little bit more of a rounder shape than be less sort of squared. Like the whole kick and snare feel like they're two like square waveforms essentially, and I'd love it if they felt like a little bit more, a bit more. Almost like modern snare sample that's like more obviously rounded or has like more of a realistic shape to it, you know. That's my only little complaint though. The rest of the track is absolutely sick. And yeah, we do need that kind of vibe on here. And I'm very grateful you've brought that vibe, and keep going on that vibe. It sounds excellent. Let me read the comments now. Love this vocal. Will Perring, oh, I like the bass riff. Phobos, ooh, baby. It's very much my jam, says Will. Sub on point, nice roller, says Ride. Loving this, says Obsidian. Asylum says, I can see Liquidity liking this. This is the DNB we don't see a lot in these streams, and we need more of it. Yes, Phobos. I want more of it too. It's great to have Tendo in the squad. Brings a different dynamic. Love the change up for the second drop. Manny Skies, hello. Some strings placed here and there would help lift it even more. Yes, that could be good. The kick on the techno drop could have a bit of a looser release. Agree. Rob Barrel, yo. Hello, Rob. Yeah, YouTube's got to fix that. It's annoying as hell. What does YouTube have to fix? I'm not sure. A bit of EQ, then clipping would help the snare. Yes, perhaps that one might help it as well. Manny Skies, thank you. All right. Great stuff so far. They've both been great. Really epic vibes on the first one. And Tendo's come in with a really fresh dynamic to the squad as well. And I've really, really enjoyed that. Anything I say is purely meant to be constructive criticism. And you can feel free to tell me I'm being a twat and disregard me if you want. Anyway, so Anansi by Splinters next. Rob Barrel in the chat. Splinters, let's go. Anansi. The cheeky one shot at the end. Okay, great stuff, Rob. Really like that. Definitely the best one from you so far. I really like the vibe. You got a great character going on there with the drums, but also I agree with Asylum and also Manny. Now the kick is a bit too pokey. I would say you've overdone the pokiness on the kick, especially. Perhaps the snare, I don't know so much, but definitely on the kick. It's actually a really great kick sound. It just you've like poked it out too much, you know? You can just dial that back a bit. If you've boosted the transient, you take it off, and if you haven't, you see if there's anything conflicting with it that's causing a bit of a pop, or you just soften the transient on it slightly, and then you'll fix it, and then you'll clear out a bit more headroom as well. But yeah, but the actual character of the kick is great, though. It's just like you've poked the transient through too much. Anyway, you've got some great comments, if I can see where I actually am. Rob, Phobos, Ballier, YouTube's got I'm not sure what you guys are talking about, fix on YouTube. Oh, the comments, right? Something like that. I'm way too far behind. Anyway, Mystery, great of you to pop on. I know you didn't submit a tune this time, but we'll catch you in the masterclass soon. And always good to see you, bro. Phobos, big ups to Mystery. Old school start, nice, says Obsidian. Proper roller. This is some awesome work on the sub frequencies, says Phobos. Early 200 style, transients are stealing headroom. Yes, agreed. It has a digital feel. Mike's, I'm noticing some speaker panning, which is very cool. Very being the key word there. Different kick, and this tune bangs. Top work. It is a different kick. It is a very nice kick. It just needs to be controlled a bit, and then it'd be great. Ian, what are you doing with AirPods? You're a producer. You know better than that. Great to see you, though, Ian. Looking forward to your track in a moment. Kerry says, I love the two build-ups, very interesting sound choices. Yes, Splinters has gone quite in detail with the sound design and the soundscapes this time. Very good work. This would be played in a deep DNB set without a doubt, says Phobos. Nice use of space and atmosphere. Kick transient a bit too heavy. Nice drums, maybe later. Some more breaks, perhaps. A lot going on in the background. Appreciate the feedback, guys. You're welcome, Rob. Thank you. Great song, though. Really enjoyed that. Great vibe. Let's continue. Phobos. What's he done this time, Mr. Phobos? He's getting slowly more. It's getting a bit too big for his boots now with his production skills. You know, he's getting a bit. We're gonna have to knock him down a few pegs soon. No, I'm just kidding. Echo Veil by Phobos. Let's go. Very, very sorry, everyone. Please know it's very VIP. It's very whip. It's very whip. And cut. Great stuff, Phobos. Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but I had a bit of low end distortion, bit of rumble from an overcooked low end in a few parts, particularly on the drop, both on the first drop and the second drop, and then later on as well. A few of your basses, for me, they seemed like you've overdone it, and it's actually distorting the track. So you got to rein that in a bit, control that stuff a bit. But the rest of it was excellent. The sense of scale, as Ian has just said, was great, and I could see exactly what you're going for. And it had a really, really great idea with the deep races and then those leads to kind of respond to them. That was excellent, and it gave you a really big like kind of dynamic. But yeah, the mix down's not on point yet for me in the low end. Got to control that a bit. But yes, dreamy, says Rob. Would love this without drums. Lovely and chill vibe. There's great atmospheres and pads in that. Nice respace, says Ride. Drums are nice and crisp. They were. This drop would be fun on a dance floor, says Kerry. You would be fun on a dance floor, Kerry, I imagine. I would like to be on a dance floor with you one day soon, Kerry. We can have a boogie together. That's got to happen at some point in this lifetime before we cross on to the next plane. Huge potential here, my guy, says Asylum. I really like the snare variation, says Obsidian Vader. Yeah, the drums were cool. I know, I've just been working on my guitar skills too much right now. Love the sense of scale. Yes, Ian could do a bit of riser into the drop. The little opening of the filter on the Reese towards the end of every 16. Mwah, says Will. Drop is very loud in contrast to the intro and breakdown. I agree, Rob. Yeah. Yes, you have overdone the volumes on the drop, Phobos, there a little bit. Then, especially directly on the drop, you sort of got like an effects sound, and the bass is also kind of distorting, and it all gets a bit too much. But you can just control the levels on some of those, put some compression on some of the offenders if you have to, bring things back a little bit. But yeah, it's a work in progress, so you know what you're doing. Okay, let's move on. We've already done 4, already halfway through. Wow. Halfway through, 35 minutes. All right, good stuff. Let's continue then with Makes. Carnival. Looking forward to this one. Let's go.
You see what I mean? Anything is anything and everything is everything, you get me? And you're the wickedest thing seen your son. Big up.
Yes, Makes. Absolute legend. Absolute legend. That was such a great vibe, man. I really enjoyed that. What Phobos just said as well, this roller would have gotten me to skank it down in a full crowd, not going to lie. Yeah, man, that was a skanky tune. I loved loved the sound of that one. Oh, Bristol Roller may be about to drop, says Asylum. Wow, this energy going into the drop is insane, says Phobos. Will Perring, you can't play this much filth before the watershed? What a banger, says Riot. Love those vocal stabs, big up. Love the use of the drum fill introducing the drop. Manny says the mix is quality, maybe some shaker type high end for some more movement. Other than that, it's fire. Yeah, that could have been a nice little variation, a bit of a shaker. It's got shoulder groove, says Rob. Absolutely agree with that. Drums sound great, says Mike. Needs a bit more variation, but in my opinion, but a roller nonetheless, says Asylum. Nice fill, says Mike. This roller would... Oh, sorry, I've read that already. These wobs I hear. Bit more interest in percussion, maybe, but like the minimal vibe too on the drums. Wicked tune, says Manny. Bravo. Yeah, cheers, everyone. Run out of time with regards to variation. Yeah, of course. The feedbacks we give, we assume that you may or may not have finished the track, and we just give the feedback anyway. You know, do with it what you will. But yeah, yeah, I really like the drums. It's like the drums were from a really old sample pack, but they still sounded like great. It was like you chose. It's got this sort of like super old schooly, jungly, one shot kind of drum sound. You know, I was wondering how it would sound if there was like a more modern like kick drum underneath it all, maybe even lay it in with the one that you've got, but like a bit of a even beefier low end kick drum underneath it all, because it felt like the kick could have like had a little bit more power still, but you don't have to do that because it sort of has this vibe already where it's just like really jungly, one shotty kind of sounding. It already sounds really cool, you know. So yeah, great. I loved that vibe. It really, the bass line was super groovy as well. AD2. So let's continue then. We've got Ride next. DJ Ride. 365 tunes a year, baby. Boomerang. All right. A bit of a shorter one, but let's go. DJ Ride. Yeah, that was such a vibe, right? I love that, man. That was really, really cool. That's a new style that I've not heard from you before. It had such a lot of energy and forward motion, and I especially love the second drop when the lead popped out, because the lead, like for me, is just a taste thing, is like a tiny bit on the cheesy end of the spectrum, but it is good though. But like when you popped the lead out for the second drop, I got well into the rolling feeling of that composition there. I especially love the kick build-ups you did, like the really long, like fast kick build-up in the background. That was excellent. That was a great kick build-up, in my opinion. Yeah, epic, man. What have we got then? Mike says, like the lead. Intro really got my attention. Then very cool into the drop. Thank you, Kerry. For so many tunes a year, the mixdown is a bit too good. I'm scared what happens if you give Ride a year to make only one banger. Will never happen. Don't worry. Rave, says Rob. Asylum says 90s Pirate Station tune. They would cane this. Big ups, DJ Ride. Absolutely great comment, that. Intro and breakdown have proper Nintendo vibes. I thought that too, Obsidian, says Mike. Tune, says Makes. Thanks, everyone. Best track you've done for me, says Asylum. Yeah, it's closely up there for me as well. There may have been one or two tracks that you've also done in the past that I really enjoyed that are maybe on level with this, but this would probably be in my top 3 that I've heard from you though, right? I would say. Short and to the point. Excellent, says Mike. Good stuff. All right, let's continue with Chameleon Audio, aka Ian, who's finally got his first official release signing coming up later this year. So big ups to you, Ian. Long-time supporter on Patreon and former student and absolute legend. This is Nephilim Remix. Whip as well. Let's go. Nice, bro. That was absolutely sick, man. Really love that. Great stuff there. Big ups Ian. This is Phobos. Have to say, quote, makes and say, tune. Oh, hello. Liking this one. Kerry says, loving the vocals. Bowl says, Manny Sykes. And love the vocals and vibe, says Asylum. Will Perring, this is great vibes. I want to see this one finished. I agree. Flutes, guitars, all types of ear candy. Awesome. Yeah, I really like that, man. You had some great sound design there. Really like the leads, that main kind of lead hook. Doo-doo-doo. That was really nice. The sound design on that. It fits really well with the bass. It's like, yeah, it doesn't take up too much space in the spectrum, but it still has a great sound. Yeah, the low end's excellent. The bass is excellent. The drums are really powerful, rolling. I love the sound of the drums. No complaints there at all. Really, really impressed. Lots of changes as well, and nice variation, little gaps and new melodies coming in. Great all round, really. Nothing bad to say about that. Just get it finished if you can, and then we're on to a bit of a winner there, aren't we? Yeah, good stuff, man. All right, let's continue then, because we're nearly finished now, actually, which is crazy because we've done it quite quickly today. Normally, sometimes they go about an hour and a half, but we're going to be right up to about an hour for this stream, which is perfect. So, last but not least, we've got Asylum, formerly featured on the label, and Still Alone, the Always Alone refix. So, very much looking forward to this one. Let's go.
I was always alone. I was always alone. I was always alone. I was always alone.
Yes, my G, absolutely sick. Absolutely sick. Love that one. Definitely would be up for signing that one. Yeah, that needs a release. 100%, man. That is sick. It's so super rude boy bass line that was. Love that. Phobos, let's go. Very, very hyped. Here we go. Excited for this one. This makes Asylum hits the nail right on the head once again. Absolutely smashed the nail on the head there. The sub bass kick in the intro is amazing. Love the sense of space. Oh yeah, says Mike. And I was right to be, says Bakes. This is awesome, says Kerry. What a way to wrap up the stream. What is this a refix of? Yes, what is this a refix of? I am in a rave cave. I think it's a refix of one of his own projects. Wow, nice drums and bass plus composition. Asylum, please send the finished one. I swear I'll be paying. Vocals nice and clean and step out of the mix. Great job. Yes, disappears into the void. Fire. Yeah, man. Honestly, I would love to release that one if it's available. That is super fire. Love that, man. Absolutely smashed it at the end of the stream there, didn't you? Yeah, I love the way the bass kind of like, yeah, just the groove of that bass. It was in the perfect spot, and then it just kept repeating, and it was quite naughty. It was quite naughty indeed. Yes, everyone has done amazing as always today. I've been very thoroughly blown away by everyone's tracks. Will and Chris, great narrative and story going on there. A little bit of improvement on the drums, it'll be excellent. Tendo, absolute great vibe you've brought to the Discord with that kind of flavour of DNB. And yeah, tiny touch up maybe on the kick and snare, but the rest of it was excellent in my opinion, sound quality wise. Splinters as well, big jump up in your sound quality. Great tune there, Anansi. Phobos, Echo Vale, fantastic depth and dynamic concept. Great concept, just needs a bit of mix down work. Makes absolutely on fire with the vibe there. Really raw and gritty, old school, kind of a little bit of a, I don't know, yeah, like a powerful, jungly Dillinger type of vibe, in my opinion. But yeah, I really like the sort of flavour that you've got on the sort of old school drums there. It's very unique. Boomerang Ride absolutely killed it. I really like all of these tracks, you know. Like this is not me just blowing smoke up your arse either. I really actually like. They all sound sick. Yeah, Boomerang was excellent. It had that feeling like Asylum mentioned. It could be smashed on a 90s pirate radio station. Yeah, I could really totally imagine that. Yeah, Ian, I don't know what's going on with you, but you just seem to be on fire at the moment, and you just sort of massively leveled up, and I'm loving what I'm hearing, loving it. Asylum as well, of course, we all know he was going to deliver, and he did, and it's absolute magic tune, that one. Yes, my G's. And that's pretty much everything wrapped up for today then. The more I tune into Artifact, the more I learn this world of D&B. Yes, Mike, you're always welcome here on the channel. We hope you'll join the Discord one day, but until then, thank you for all of your support. Yes, Kerry, thanks to all the submitters. Well done, everyone. Great stream, everyone. Yeah, thank you guys so much for all your support on Patreon and for just making great music. I feel very, very, very grateful to have this community, you know, and just to put on these streams that we try to do once a month and have you guys in the Discord. I feel very, very grateful because you guys are all not only great musicians and yeah, not also improving every time, but you're also great people from as far as I know. No, you guys are legends. You always yeah, you guys create a great vibe for the community, which is exactly what I want, you know. So it's perfect, you know, the vibe of our community, like it's just really a calm in the storm. All right. Yeah, anyway, that was it for today then. I really appreciate you guys. I'm not just saying that, I do genuinely mean that. Thank you everyone so much. Yes, we've got more videos coming on the channel as well. Loads of videos upcoming, tutorials. We'll do another live stream like this in around a month or so. But next we're doing my group masterclass on the 4th of May. So yeah, check out Patreon for that, or I'll put the link on YouTube at some point as well. But yeah, that's it for today then. Thank you everyone for coming along. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your Easter. It's Good Friday today, so I hope you guys have a peaceful and reflective Good Friday after this, and have a great Easter as well with your families and all that good stuff, and many blessings. Have a great weekend. Lots of love, everyone. I'll see you guys very soon.